To kickstart today's presentation, I wanted to ask you guys to think about the last time you were in a meeting with someone and you think to yourself, I have no idea what she's talking about, or this is unbearable, I'm falling asleep. So if you do think about that, then Dekcs is here to help you. So just to give you a little bit of background about Dekcs, I created Dekcs as, are you guys seeing the screen moving? Oh, now it works, sorry. So Dekcs is a team of marketers, builders, wordsmiths, who help you improve your presentation so that you don't have to work on it. We handle everything from writing the creatives, writing the copy, to working with the graphic designers and adding design elements that would help you with their presentation. So my background is in search marketing. The project that we're working on at Dekcs are pure passion project. We look forward to working with our clients as we help them tell the stories and craft a good presentations that stand out. I'm very passionate about telling the stories. I'm very passionate about using the right keywords to help your business sell, to help your business put a good impressions in front of your clients. So we offer 3 core services. One is building presentation. We're comfortable with all type of presentation format, from PowerPoint, Google Slides, to Keynotes, and most recently pitch.com. Secondly, we help you with sales pitch consultation. We will ask you the kind of questions that your clients may potentially ask you. And we also provide recommendations on data visualization or image illustration. And last but not least, we offer specifically for ad agency who doing media pitches. We offer to do the entire audit as part of the presentation package, and we have marketers, including myself, who would be completing the audit. Our clients are mainly small businesses and nonprofit based in the US. The way that we work is we have the 3-part process, starting from briefing the client on the initial call to prepping and building the presentation, and then the final is delivery. We pride ourselves on consistency, responsiveness, and timeliness. If you ask us to build a Dekcs that we could not deliver on time, you will learn that within the first call. That will tell you that this is the date that we'll complete the presentations and whether or not we can complete it. Our process can be broken out into 7 steps here. As you can see, at the very affordable price, you are supported by talented individuals who are marketers, graphic designers, wordsmiths, storytellers, and strategists. From the beginning to the end, we have 3 rounds of client review process, when we actually provide different variations of the Dekcs for the clients to pick the right scheme or colors that they liked. Or we can also work with the actual brand template if you already have something existing. And then with that, I'm going to transition in onto the meat of the presentations, which I'm sure you guys are excited about. So here are some of the best practices to build a good and powerful presentation. Aside from the fact that you need to match between the headlines and the description line, the size of the fonts for each slide, keep the size of the fonts for each slide consistent. Followings are some of the best practices that you could use to build presentations like a pro. Tip number 1, start with the beginning and the end in mind. So usually if you start by envisioning how you wanted to begin telling your story and how to put the emphasis at the end, everything will fall into place in the middle. So in the same way that we work with our clients, we usually advise our clients to tell us exactly if they like how we going to begin telling the story and how we're going to finish the story. Tip number 2 is to use live features. I have spent countless of hours of rearranging image before I learned that there's a feature for you to arrange the image exactly in the middle of the Dekcs. So I think this is a very powerful tool and highly recommend it. Tip number 3 is to maintain the sharpness and the clarity of the slide image. What that means is if you have an image and you wanted to make it larger or smaller, usually you will use the drag and drop feature. What happens is it's gonna make the image less clear if you make it larger and depending on the pixel of the image. So if you use shift down and shift up shortcuts, it's going to keep your image sharp and clear. And tip number 4 is play around with contrast and blank space. So just like a conversation that we have, sometimes it's okay to pause. Sometimes it's okay to have a page that's blank and with very little words. And tip number 5 is to give something for everyone. Some people resonate more with graph, some resonate more with numbers, and some with image. So typically within the presentations, we try to diversify between the slides so that if you don't pay attention on one portion of the deck, you'll pay attention to another one. And then last but not least, for anyone who work on building a one-sheeter, I wanted to give a very basic structure to help you, to help guide you on how to build out a one-sheeter that help make all the information digestible, help your clients see the snippets of your business and your services, starting from the top of the sheet with the overview of how you can help your clients, the who. And then the second portion of the sheet where, you highlighting your core values or you highlighting your core capabilities. And then last but not least is the how, telling your clients how it works, telling your clients how they can move forward by contacting you, and everything can be laid out on the one-sheeter. And thank you for, watching the presentation. We have a few more section here at the appendix that I'm sure Michael can distribute after the call today as to how you can work with us. We have a simple 3-step booking experience outlining here. And then we also have some bullets on the do and don'ts of presenting or working on the presentations.
Okay, thank you so much, Ling. We have 6 minutes left, and there are a couple of questions. So I had a couple of questions. First one for me is, do your clients usually give you a draft deck presentation to work with, or do you start from scratch?
Good question. So we work with both, actually. We have clients who doesn't have anything, and then we give them the outline and the recommendation of the story. But we also have clients who are very buttoned up and they have actual template guidelines and color scheme that we actually have to follow. So yeah, we'll work with both. And the difference is when we provide the scope on the very initial call, depend on the expectation of the client that we provide the number of hours in the quotes for depending on their needs.
Okay, great. And Audrey, what fields or markets do you work with?
I work mainly with nonprofit and small businesses. I do have some clients who are marketing consultants. Yeah.
Okay.
My follow-up to that, if I may.
Sure.
It's like, for example, I'm an attorney, as you know. Do you work with lawyers? Do you work with doctors? Do you work with, like, who do you work with? What fields? Like, like I do a lot of presentations, and it depends on who the audience is. It depends on what I'm presenting. So I guess that's what I'm trying to do. Are you in health? Are you in, what fields?
Yeah, we don't say no to any clients actually. Like we haven't had any loyal clients that we've worked with previously. Dekcs is actually a very new company. We only started like this year. But most of the clients that we work with have been in the nonprofit space, clients in real estate that we've worked with, the clients in marketing agencies, or client in advisory or a consultant that we work with. So it really depends. We try not to say no to anyone unless we really can't handle the project. I think the only projects that we would say no to would be like if they're coming from like a large holding agencies, or if they're coming from like a large corporation. We don't usually take on those kind of projects. We like to work on projects that's more like a small to mid-sized agency who have a lot of flexibility in how we create the slides and how we tell the stories. So yeah.
Okay, I also had another question. So you said at an affordable price, what would be a typical, let's say it's a 15-page deck that you are creating from scratch. What's a typical price range for that?
Yeah, so a 15-page deck with the contents already, without the contents already done, that you actually need a copywriter from our team to look over it and help you use the right words. We typically charge around like $1,200 for that, and then we can typically turn around within like 24 to 48 hours. But it's really depend on the needs of the clients. Sometimes if it's with the clients that we anticipate to have a lot of feedback, so a lot of revisions, we may increase the price depending on the expectation. We learned that within the very first call. But yeah.
So like 1,200 plus, 1,200 to 2,000 or something?
Yeah, the latest project I quoted for was I want to just say $1,250 for 15 slides, completed within 1 week.
Okay. Okay, let's see. From Larry, were your presentation examples on PowerPoint or Excel or both or other? So you showed on PowerPoint, right?
Correct. Yeah, we've only been receiving requests on PowerPoint. We do offer keynotes as an option. We also offer Excel if it's related to a lot of data, like if it's like a dashboard building, we do offer the service. We just haven't got any requests on that. But yeah, mainly Excel, mainly PowerPoint.
Larry, does that answer your question?
And I did have another one down there just about the pricing for the one-pagers.
Yeah, it's a similar pricing. It's by hours, so we charge $50 an hour, depending on how much data you wanted to consolidate and how much material you wanted us to review and consolidate into the one-sheeter. So typically, we tell you the quote on the very first call. I don't think that it's going to take more than like 100, 200 for one sheeter.
Okay, so yeah, okay, $100 to $200. Okay, great. Let's see. Jason had a comment. I don't see a lot of presentation examples on the site. Maybe you can provide. You're talking about stuff that she's done for clients. Oh, he's on a call. All right, so we'll catch. You might want to catch up with Jason later if he's got more questions about that.
Yeah, I'm happy to follow up with him after the call. But for everyone else, if anyone's curious, I usually don't share the work with the clients that I work with, because the way that we work is that I'll typically just delete every presentation and all the data and all the information once the project is complete. I know not a lot of people offer that, but given nowadays, given the sensitivity of presentations, and given that sometimes, it's a sales advantage to one agency versus another, we usually remove everything once we finish and move on to the next project.
2 more questions and then we'll finish because time's up. But do you, from John, do you integrate video?
No, we don't recommend that actually, because a lot of time you see online communication, or if you see like sales pitch, it get distributed across different companies or different team. We actually recommend our clients not to use video in your presentations and to send that separately as a assets.
Okay, and then last question from Scott. Has Ling done pitch decks for investors?
We have not done a
Okay.
pitch deck investor, but we wanted to work on one. We just haven't had the opportunity to do that yet, so.
All right, so I don't know if Scott has a need, but you connect. Happy to help them do that. Okay.
Yes.
Scott, does that answer your question? You're on mute.
Yes, I'm sorry to be late. Thank you very much, Lynn. I'm interested in people who do it, but I also do it myself. And I'm very interested in what you do. So thank you. Maybe we can get some time offline since I came late to the meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't you do that? You can connect directly. Actually, somebody today, I just got an email from somebody in the group who said they have access to a tool that facilitates one-on-one meetings. And I think I actually may have spoke to the person several months ago, but it was too early, but now might be a good time to do that. Okay, thank you, Ling. I'm gonna switch to our, let's see. All right, I'm gonna switch to speaker view. And we'll do, why don't we do 2 minutes? If you wanna tell us, in addition to your regular pitch, something that's new and exciting, if there's anything new and exciting, would love to hear that. So I have, in fact, what I'll do is I'll put it in the chat, the order in which I'd like people to go based on who showed up when. So it would be John, whoops, I'm gonna write this in here. John, Audrey, Larry, Dan, Jason, C, and then Scott, and then Michael. Did I miss anybody? All right, so John, no, did I say John first?
Yep.
John, you're up.
John Patch, Tread4 Consulting. Hope everybody's doing well and have recovered from Thanksgiving. Tread4 is a company that brings together sales and marketing from a process and performance perspective. What we do is we go in, we also do assessments to figure out where people are in current processes, where they are in their performance, and this is wrapped around anything customer facing. So we're able to go in, do those assessments, tell them where they're at. If they don't have a current repeatable process, we help them develop that. And then we bring other tools to the table to help them automate that. We just brought on board Predictive Index as a partner, so we're pretty excited about that. Predictive Index is a behavioral assessment, so we're able to help them put together good teams of existing talent, but also help them hire the right talent and refocus existing talent if necessary. So as we look at going forward with small to medium-sized businesses, what we're looking to do is help them take existing processes, improve them, or create them, but with a focus of a 360-degree view of their customer. And we've had success in manufacturing. We've had success in insurance finance. One of my bigger clients is an auto auction company, which is mainly on the East Coast. So it's all about how we can get the data to best serve them in creating an environment for their customer that is 360-degree view.
And you said you were working with predictive index. What exactly do they do?
Yeah, some people may know it as PI, but it's a behavioral index. So assessing talent in a way that really identifies them and what motivates those individuals. Instead of a skill set assessment, it's more of a behavioral assessment focused on their likes and dislikes and really where they shine.
And
So
that's
we can-
helping your clients hire marketing folks,
Yeah,
salespeople?
helping them hire, but also helping them put together good teams for particular projects that they may have on the table. So maybe it's a new product rollout that they need a subset within their organization to identify, the pitfalls of a rollout or a product. They need some detail-oriented people. They need some out-of-the-box thinkers. They need some people who don't fear failure. Those types of assessments that allow us to put a team together that is going to perform well for them.
Great.
So my tagline is traction in business performance.
Thank you so much. Okay, Audrey, you're up.
Hi, everybody. Audrey Dictor from South Florida. I'm an attorney and I focus on advertising, marketing, promotions law, intellectual property, and privacy law. And I help small, medium businesses and agencies be legally compliant with all 30 fields. I review the marketing campaign, everything and anything that is included in that, especially websites. Because when you have a website, you are technically advertising nationally and internationally. So you do need to consider who is on the other side of your website, and are you compliant with the privacy laws, not just in the US, which we don't have one overall law like GDPR. We're headed that way if Congress can get its act together, maybe in the next year or two. But, in the US, we have a mishmash of different privacy laws. Also, there's been a major uprise in ADA compliance lawsuits for websites, especially for small businesses. So if I'm reviewing websites, I'm also telling the client how to be compliant with that. Sorry, I share the office with my husband, so I apologize. So anyway, and of course, let's not forget the advertising part of it, because you need to be legally compliant with the FTC law and everything and whatever other federal, state, and local laws that would affect your marketing campaign. For example, a couple of weeks ago, I did a cannabis and we need a campaign. I worked on one of those and I needed to tell the client which states would not allow such advertising. So, we had to write a disclaimer, like not validating, that type of disclaimer to make sure that, also, their website needed to have that click here if you're 21, and if you don't click, you can't go in, like you have to. So that kind of thing, to make sure that you are legally compliant with everything that affects your particular market and field. So you're legally compliant, and the FTC or the FDA doesn't come, they don't come after you. So I keep you legally compliant. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay. That would be Larry and then Dan. Larry, you are up.
It's holiday time again, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving, Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa right around the corner. So guess what? It's time to think about those clients that you have not been able to go see in person. And what better way than to work with Larry Joseph and Takeoff Products to provide terrific branded holiday or even non-branded holiday gifts to your clients. Larry Joseph, my company's Takeoff Products. As I mentioned, I'm a longtime provider of branded marketing collateral to businesses and help them build their brands. I often show, hey, look at this item, but in these meetings, because that's the best way to convey what I do. But it's more than that. I've been doing this for many, many years, and I know where to help clients find things that are unusual and different to help them with their marketing interests. One of the big areas right now, here's an item, hate to do this, but I'm doing a lot of PPE work. This is a mask with a carbon filter. from one of my sources, but I've got disposable masks and we're doing sanitizers. Oh, sorry about that. I'm losing my voice. I have to fill 2 minutes here, gang. So I'm working on it. I'm not sure if I showed this last time, but this is a 65% alcohol spray. So antiseptic spray that this was my company on there, but you can do it for your company. So, oh, there we go. That one, you didn't work with me.
Scott has one too.
Scott. So anyway, that's what I do. And I enjoy doing it. Lots of fun.
Anything new in the last 11 seconds?
All right, good. I'll sing a
Anything-
song.
No, that's all right. All right, cool. Let's see, who's up next? That would be Dan, then
Yeah,
Jason.
it's me, Michael. So Larry, I'm not going to carry the mantle and try and sing a song, even though you ran out of time. I'm also going to go the other way, right? Where Larry, you mentioned in your in the course of your time, of course, now I'm chewing up mine, is, oh my God, I got to fill up 2 minutes. You really don't have to fill up 2 minutes, right? Think about what the core message is, what you do, who your audience is. And if it takes you 60 seconds, all the better. So, a tighter message. And in that vein, my name is Dan Prince, and good afternoon, everybody. Happy December 2nd. I own my own communications public relations firm. I spent 20 years at the likes of all the big boring companies that you would have heard of that everybody knows about, Marsh, Accenture, Deloitte, and Willis. The problem is, it took me 20 years to realize they don't need me because they've got all the brand that they need, and then some. And so I focus on small and mid-sized businesses, building brand awareness, differentiation, and growth. And John offered up his tag. My tag's a little bit less formal. John, it's you can grow your brand by changing your socks. I'll show you how. And so if you want to hear the rest of that sock story, let me know.
It's the old Columbo thing.
But there is a good sock story, John.
And can we see your socks?
You can absolutely see my socks right now. These are new, courtesy of my daughter.
Fried egg socks.
Okay.
By the way, I sell branded socks.
Yeah, there you go, Larry. Nice segue. Larry, what was that?
Sounds like we're in the right season for it.
Larry, what was that 800 number again?
Pardon?
Did you have an 800 number?
Yeah, I don't need an 800 number anymore.
It didn't flash on the screen for me.
Oh, wait.
Just one.
There's more.
That's it.
More.
You know what? I'm out of time.
All right, that was Dan. Jason.
Okay, so I am Jason Cement. I run an agency in digital marketing called Get Visible. We're based mostly in Scottsdale, though I live in LA. That's where we started, and my partner got married and moved there. So I just met my team for the first time in a year. We have 7 new employees in the last year, and it was really wonderful to meet them because I have realized that we have the best team now we've had in 15 years of doing this. So COVID actually had some positive outcomes just because it forced everybody to collaborate in ways they didn't do at the same time in the office. So it's been very good. We do everything digital. I mean, we build websites for WordPress, we build websites for e-commerce, we drive traffic, whether it's rankings, pay-per-click ads, creating content, syndicating blogs, social media posts, reaching out to influencers. It's the whole gamut. And what we're developing now that's kind of productization of our service is something that we're calling Artichoke. I figured if Google can use names, so can we. So we're developing, it's a good visualization, especially with the Artichoke. It has all the little petals, which are like content pieces that can be replicated and utilized for syndication. So we tested the theory out on a patent lawyer. We got him to number 5 in Google in about 6 months for a series of desirable searches. So we know that our principles work, and I'm actually creating now a whole program to do outreach around the country to reach out to lawyers of one particular type for appellate lawyers. So that's my story. I don't need to.
Is Artichoke particularly specifically targeted at appellate lawyers?
No. Artichoke is just I thought of it. I was just thinking like, you know what? If everyone knows what an artichoke is, some like it, some don't. But there's a lot of aspects to the artichoke that relate to explaining digital marketing, especially search engine rankings, because the artichoke sucks up all the nutrients in the ground. You can only grow like peas or some very low things around it. So something to it.
It's a great name, Jason.
What was that?
It's a great name. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
And I live in
Scott,
LA. We have no socks.
you have no socks in LA. That's right. Barefoot and sandals only.
Yeah.
Scott Lang.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Many of you I've met before on the Trusted Referral Network, and today it's nice to meet the new participants here today. I'll make it very quick. My business is called Lang Marketing. That's because 20 years ago, I kind of thought of myself as a brand after a long career in sports marketing. And I continued along that path, and I do advisory work in sports marketing and in venture advisory work. But my business is all about partnerships and alliances. So if there are any of you that are looking for dot connecting, you want to get into a company, you want to get into talk to brands, put them together for some reason for an initiative. My clients are the Black Entrepreneur Initiative, which is a small business learning tool or a small business toolkit for Black and minority-owned business owners, and particularly dealing with the COVID-19 calamity. I have an eyeglass company that's a client. I'm working with a sanitary, antiviral, and antibacterial company called Germ Barriers. That's where this comes from, Larry. So it's very diverse. Sports was a part of my life, but I started in the advertising business on the Pan Am account. So I've worked in all different types of verticals, all different types of industries. And at my point in life now, I just want to do what I want to do. If I can pick up a piece of paper and just hand it over to somebody else and make an introduction, make a commission, I'll do that. If it's writing decks and actually putting the shoulder to the wheel to sell a property or an opportunity, I'll do that. So that's really what I do.
Perfect timing. Exactly 2 minutes. Okay. I haven't missed anybody except for myself, correct? Okay.
You miss yourself.
I haven't gone yet. So my name is Michael Bendit, as you all know. My company is called Software Development Resources. And as the name implies, I provide software development talent in the form of teams. So I don't represent any freelancers. All of the companies, about 10 of them that I represent, have typically 10 to 20 people, but they do range a bit smaller and even a few that are much larger. I do a lot of work in partnership with digital marketing agencies that don't always have those resources in-house, or perhaps they lost a resource and they need somebody who's got a particular skill that is maybe hard to find. I got 2 calls today, or I had 2 calls today. One for help with a content management system called Expression Engine, which used to be pretty popular, but is no longer popular. But I have a team that has done work in it, and will pick up the maintenance for that client. And another one, it's a WordPress related service called Croca something or other. Not Croca, no, not that. Croca-Block. And apparently it's fairly complex, and they're looking for somebody who can take that on, because they use this a lot for their work. So having 10 teams does give me a leg up, because we do have a breadth of capabilities, and so that's why people come to me, because they may not have what they need in-house, or if they are a direct client, they don't know where to go to find the right skills. Last thing I'll mention, even though my time has run out, most of the work that I do with my dual shore teams, and those are teams that have some people here in the U.S., but most of their resources offshore. And that just saves them money, but also makes it easier to communicate because they're not dealing directly with the offshore groups. Let's switch to gallery view. I'm recording this, of course, and I will post it to the YouTube channel. The network is growing. We're still getting relatively small groups at these meetings. I'd like to expand that. At some point, I think I'm going to require that people show up to at least a meeting a month in order to demonstrate they're active in the group. I'm going to probably implement a one-on-one meeting facilitation tool, which people can sign up for so that they can meet other people in the group more readily. It'll schedule for them. And that's really where you're going to get more engaged with other people, be able to think about contacts that you might have that can help each other out. Always open to other ideas. And certainly leads. And people know that we have 3 clients right now. Signal Insights, which makes a competitive tracking tool as well as an account tracking tool. And they're actually making greater progress and gaining more traction in the account tracking tool. So that's for like anybody that's got 100, 200 named accounts that they need to track what's going on with those accounts. Solo Segment, which is the company that has that AI-based tool for helping people navigate very large websites, so hundreds of thousands of pages. One of their big clients is the American Society of Mechanical Engineers. Another one is John Deere, both of which have over 1 million pages. And the last one, which is our most recent, is Brandmaker. That's the German company with the very sophisticated marketing operations management system for big brands. And they're targeting companies, that spend over $100 million a year and need to sort of better manage their very broad and sprawling marketing programs across products, across regions, that sort of thing. All of the each of those, we've got presentations that are posted on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen a presentation, please take a look. And always looking for thoughts, input on how we can help these clients generate some revenue for both them and for us.